our whole lives. We're told how to express ourselves and how to act and how to behave. We tell little kids, don't cry, it's okay. And then we, as adults, wonder why we have difficulty, being able to show vulnerability and being able to say to a friend or a family member, hey, I'm not okay, and I need you. I think for me personally, I have had my walls up for a really long time and probably have missed out on a lot of really beautiful experiences as a result. This separateness, this disconnection that the computer screen and the social media is creating, I think it's creating this really scary future. I found this true story about this girl in England who actually left her suicide note on Facebook, and she was laughed at and ignored and no one even went around to see if she was okay, and there were friends of hers who lived within walking distance, and no one could tear themselves away from the computer screen for 5 minutes to go and see if she was okay. And that scares me on so many levels. That it scares me to think the kind of world that we've created for ourselves and for the future generations. This place where someone can leave a suicide note on Facebook and is laughed at and ignored. I've been in that place where I've been, in the darkest places, and I have been too scared to reach out and tell anyone that I'm not okay because of my pride and my ego, and I just think that's not really the kind of world that I want to be in. Instead of being victimized by it, to take action and say, well, if this isn't the kind of world that I want to live in, then what can I do to change it? Make the film that you want to see. We're so privileged to be, we're like young artists in the Western world. We're not, in communist China or somewhere where, they're not allowed to use their voices. We have our own voices, and if there are things that we believe in passionately, then we must use those voices to express that and to do what we can to try and make the world a better place in any way that we can. Yeah, that's my answer.
That's a good answer. Why do you want to make this movie, Emma?
Because I had my heart broken by life a few months ago in New York. I went to a music festival that I've been to 3 years in a row, and I love it. And it's not just a festival, it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful world. I went 3 years in a row because it was something that was really special to me, and it was a place, it was something that restored my faith in people, because living in New York, people can be really guarded and seem quite angry and have this chip on their shoulder, and then we would go get this ferry to this island, and then there's 100,000 people there, and everybody's, it's just one big family of 100,000 people, and it totally made me, it reminded me that we're all human beings. And anyway, this year, the third day of the festival was cancelled because two people died, during the first 2 days, and they decided to call off the third day. And when I went online, like onto Facebook and Twitter, I saw, these threads on, people complaining about, either not, they're going to get a refund, and why should we have to suffer for these, because, these two kids, they overdosed, and so they were complaining that, why should we have to suffer because of these idiots, and like just saying the most just awful things. And these were people, like, just yesterday we were all together and we're dancing and having fun, and at the moment that they didn't get what they wanted, it was they just started attacking each other, and that broke my heart, because one thing that came to my head was I couldn't imagine like being one of their family members and going online and seeing all these things written about about them dying. And it's really easy to say what we think behind our computer screen. When that happened in New York, it broke my heart, and I was in Tribeca. I remember I sat on the side of the street for about 4 hours, and I just couldn't stop crying. And when I had this epiphany about this film, and I found the story about Simone, it gave me this new, fire for life and for the film, and for life, because there are things that can break my heart about this world and humanity, but I can either be victimized by it and let it break my spirit, or I can take that pain and that, that heartbreak, and I can put it into my work, and I can do something to affect change rather than accept the world the way that it is. And yes, there are a lot of really awful things going on in the world. I mean, just watch BBC News for an hour, and that's enough to make me want to cry and go hide under the covers. But we can let it destroy us, or we can do something about it. And I think, we have to remember that, even as individuals, we create a ripple effect, and we're not powerless. We and if we all just give up and think that we're powerless, then the evil in the world will take over. So I'm not gonna be a part of that.
I'm not gonna let the bastards get you down.
I'm not gonna let the bastards get me down.